Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world and our country and how we're going to fix both of them together. What we're going to talk about right now is the exact verbiage that far left progressives are using around the election of Kamala Harris. Words like disaster, no wonder we're screwed, coming from the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, Cenk Uygur, over at the Young Turks. Everything that I'm about to show you is almost a confirmation of what we've been talking about, only this time coming from far lefties. Everything's going to be linked in the description box below. I cannot wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on if you want to spread freedom from coast to coast, border to border, because it is delicious and it's intoxicating and everyone deserves it. Let's get it. But before I show you the actual content, make sure you guys don't miss out on your opportunity to get one of my favorite designs we've had yet from the store. It's linked into the description box below. Freedom only lasts if you can defend it. We've got 4 colors. It'll be an amazing design. It looks like this right here. This is the red one, and it's a limited time design. It's right down there in the description box, as I mentioned. We're going to stop selling it on Friday, and it's going to ship on Monday. So make sure you guys get in there because the first ones coming in are the first ones going out, and this is premium election voting attire. So make sure you not only vote, but you look good doing it. And check this shirt out right now. Again, in the description. But now, let's get to the lefties. Time for the disclaimer. Let's just be honest. You got to vote. If you think we're tied and we're barely going to eke out a victory and stop the gun controller, Kamala Harris, then do that and eke out a victory. Get yourself to vote, your friends to vote, your family to vote. If you think that we're going to win, run up the score. Induce the 5 stages of grief. This is by no means an invitation to sit this one out. This is not the time to do that. Vote, 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 vote. All right, now that I've said that, we've covered our bases. Allow me to show you what they're saying at the ultra-progressive far left network, the Young Turks, around Kamala Harris and what's happening right now. Because I'll pay attention to the details that we've talked about over the last 2 weeks because they're catching up. Check this out.
But if you go back to September, Harris had a wider lead according to the same poll. So in September, ABC showed that Harris was up 6 points. CBS showed that Harris was up 4 points. And NBC showed that Harris was up 5 points. So clearly she has lost some ground here, Cenk.
So when she was up 5 to 6 points, I said, finally, if the election were held today, she would win. But I said, there's a long way to go, right? Because remember, being tied in the national poll means if you're a Democrat, you're definitely going to lose. Joe Biden won by 4.5 points on election day in 2020 and barely won the Electoral College by 43,000 votes. So you've got to have at least a 4.5 to 5 point lead in order to win. So if she's tied, that means she's now disastrously behind. So the swing states.
I'm just going to pause it real quick because I've got to hit that part. Disastrously behind. You're definitely going to lose. What have I been saying on this channel for coming on 3 months now when we've been looking at the election polling and the election trends? If they are tied, they are going to be in some very serious trouble because the Electoral College, it basically works its way around the popular vote where big blue city centers would control the entire direction of our country. It gives the rural, outsized or undersized populations a seat at the table. All right? Disastrous levels. Definitely going to lose. Guys, you have a chance to run up the score here. I mean, seriously, it only happens if you vote, but let me let him continue here.
The most. There you can just win by 1 vote and you're fine, right? But at the national level, since you stack up so many votes in New York and California, you've got to win by 4 or 5 points. So this is really bad news. Unfortunately, just like we told you, I mean, when I wrote you a tweet on October 5th, we told you on the show before any of these polls had come out. We said, watch out, she's doing the wrong things. She's going to lose her lead. And now, unfortunately, the chickens have come home to roost. It isn't about bragging, guys.
Unfortunately, the chickens have come home to roost. She's going to lose her lead. Guys, keep this in mind. He is talking to a left-wing progressive audience. He's not talking to conservative, freedom-loving, liberty-loving individuals. He's talking to the far-left progressive wing of the Democratic Party. He's telling them openly, disastrous level. Definitely going to lose. The chickens are coming home to roost. Guys, what you're seeing right now is them laying the groundwork for 3 weeks from now on November 5th, the night of. They can say, we told you this was coming. Guys, If you take part in your civic duty and you vote, you can go with votewithbraden.com if you want to make sure that you are registered and everything's up to date. But when you get there,
I'm between Freebird and Skullshaver.
Get out of here. The only thing that you can do is quite literally take part in your civic duty.
The weight of the
because you are going to be able to truly and honestly spread freedom. It's as simple as it is. But let's continue. I got my next talking point at 3 minutes. All the timestamps are linked, by the way. Let me show you what they're saying as we go into this a little further. It gets very deep, particularly in the third clip. Let's keep going.
She's the VP in an unpopular administration. We asked about President Biden's policies. Are they helping or hurting your family? Just a quarter of voters said they're helping. Nearly half said they're hurting. And then here's the interesting twist. We also asked folks, think back to when Donald Trump was president. Did his policies help or hurt your family? And look at the difference. 44% helping, 31 hurting. Trump's, the retrospective, you would say, opinion of Trump's presidency among voters, arguably higher now than when he was president.
So considering the data that you just saw and absorbed, consider how disastrous it was when Kamala Harris was being interviewed by the ladies over at The View, and she was asked, what would you do differently from Joe Biden? And she basically said nothing. She had no way of differentiating herself from the Biden administration, which of course is unpopular, and according to what NBC News found, voters feel that these policies implemented by Biden have made their lives worse. So she shouldn't have given the answer that she did during The View.
Okay, so now here's the next point. I'm going to put a little flag, a little wave about this one. When Kamala Harris said that on The View, I did a video that day that's saying she just torpedoed her own campaign. Before any type of polling, before anything else happened. And here you are 5, 6, 7 days later when the polling comes out, these guys at the far left, TYT, are saying, well, she shouldn't have said that. Guys, it's so crucial that we not only fight for our gun rights, we not only pay attention to the Second Amendment fight and understand what's truly going on, we have to understand the other political influences to make the same common outcome of our freedom. You have to understand both of these things. We are trying to be on the cutting edge, and so far, we're 5 days ahead of the far left progressives and like a week and a half ahead of the mainstream media. Again, this is not a bragging thing. This is about paying attention to the details, the micro, zooming out to a macro and seeing a trend. Freedom is coming on this train, political awareness analysis coming on this train, and together they're going to come together for the tapestry of freedom. All right, let me keep going. This is my third timestamp. This one is at 5:28. This is the payoff right here.
Right? And so you didn't prepare for the answer of how are you different than Biden when Biden's popularity is in the toilet, when only 25% of the country thinks we're going in the right direction. And you didn't think that through, and you just said, oh, we're the same. Oh my God, what is wrong with this campaign? So, and guys, especially in light of the fact that they started so strong and they started so well, and we told you then too. We said, oh my God, picking Tim Walsh is gonna go up. Oh, the economic populist plans that she put out, she's gonna go up. And she did go up, we were right about that. All they had to do was hold steady. Instead, she went into a room with a bunch of donors and a bunch of morons from Washington. And they're all like, oh my God, you got to tell everybody how much you love corporations and Dick Cheney. And now we're screwed.
I think she...
And now we're screwed. And again, this is the important piece that you have to understand. And if you're just now tuning in, shirts, description, amazing, go team. The thing that you have to understand about what he's saying, now we're screwed. This is disaster level polling. They're definitely going to lose. You have to understand when the far left progressives at the Young Turks are saying what's happening on the left, they have a they have a desired outcome of having a left-wing presidency, like a Kamala Harris, like a Tim Walz. You hear it in his voice. You see it in his face. He sees what's happening. Guys, for them to be screaming this from the rooftops, something is wrong. They see what's happening. They may be insanely left, but they are over the target on this one. Something is going down. You can bring it to fruition by voting. If you show up in the numbers that I know are out there, you can send a freak out level event for a 3-month time span before Trump gets inaugurated, should he win. Again, nothing's guaranteed. It's in your hands. Make sure you put your feet to the fire and go and vote. Get your family to vote, your friends to vote. But what they're doing is they're sending flares out across the board because they see something that a lot of people are trying to ignore. That's the first thing I've got for you today. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.